Hi, everyone. Great to have you joining me this morning. Our last little 10 minutes of morning calm before vacation. And next week, we'll be running some archived versions, instead of the live one. But I certainly wanted to say how much I always enjoy these. And I hope you continue to enjoy the archived ones next week. A little trip back memory lane. So what I want to start with today, friends, is this question, what is true beauty? And I want to come at it two ways. In Christian New Church theology, we talk a lot about contrasting opposites. And so we can learn something from what it's not, and we can learn about something from what it is. So what's not beautiful? And I think that idea we all probably one of the first words that would come to our mind is ugliness. And what's ugliness? Like, what does that look like? I was thinking about this yesterday, listening to a wonderful podcast. And Alexander Solzhenitsyn made a brilliant point in his famous book, The Gulag Archipelago. And what he said, one of the things he needed to get clear on was that the line between light and dark, good and evil, shadow side, light side, however you want to call it, the good side of you, the bad side of you, it runs down the middle of each of us. And he was writing about the Soviet Union, where instead of this acknowledgement that all of us are this admixture, it was this belief that the line actually ran between us who got it and those who didn't. So there was light and there was dark, instead of there was light and there was dark. Very profound difference, and something profound to think about. Because I think, when I look at ugliness, to me, one of the characteristics of it is this belief, and it's easy in this day and age to really think our job is to be on the side of light and to point out everything that is dark, to point out everything that's evil. Now, obviously, time and place to point out what's wrong, absolutely. Time and place to point out what's evil, absolutely. But also know that that line runs down the middle of all of us too. We are all an admixture. We have probably all of us, over the last 48 hours done something that was just incredibly altruistic and beautiful, and we also were probably a complete jerk over the last 48 hours at some point in time as well. And that idea of that ugliness that happens when we start to say, well, I get it, and my only job is to point out all the people who don't. Super dangerous, especially when we get educated that is our main job. That's just not our main job. We're all in the soup together. We're all trying to do the best we can, and that's a much more compassionate, gracious place to be. So that's number one. That's sort of a quick thumbnail sketch of ugliness. So what's beauty? Well, from a Christian New Church perspective, I want to read to you a little section here about beauty. And this is Emmanuel Swedenborg talking about beauty as he saw it in heaven. Beauty in heaven takes on a loveliness that eclipses any conception of beauty ever seen by the eye. Virtue and kindness are what shape angels and make them a likeness of themselves. They cause the joy and beauty of neighborly love to shine out from the smallest details. So that's a beautiful idea. It's the idea that in heaven, people embody this idea of virtue and kindness. And this idea of virtue and kindness, just to go back to what uh, he said to this virtue and kindness, like it pushes itself outwards and it's realized in joy. Wow, 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 wow. Think about that. Virtue and kindness realized in joy. And then he goes on to say service to the neighbor, joyful service to other people. Wow, that is spot on. And incredibly different definition. And it's easy to think, wow, it's a bunch of words. How do we write them all down? Just come down to this. Beauty is kindness. Beauty is kindness. And another way to maybe think of it, beauty is thoughtfulness. And I especially like the phrase thoughtfulness. I think that idea of really trying to look for where people are deeply thoughtful. And in my experience is most people have moments like that. Very few people, I think, are totally thoughtless. I mean, it might happen on occasion, and no doubt we've all both had thoughtless moments and been on the receiving side of very thoughtless moments. But most people, if you watch them long enough, there'll be some real thoughtfulness in there. And that's where to see the beauty. That's a brand new definition of beauty. So friends, let's think about it. As we go into this weekend ahead, let's have a beautiful weekend, right? A beautiful weekend where what we're going to focus on, we're going to just focus on being thoughtful. just as best we can. And that's that goodwill. And again, that beautiful concept of virtue and kindness being realized and pushed out there in a loving, joyful service towards other people. Boy, that's good, and you think about the real beauty you've seen in your life. Think of somebody really thoughtful, and I know a lot of you are have partners who are extremely thoughtful, and doesn't that make them beautiful? In so many ways. I mean, they may not be the most technically handsome or the most technically beautiful person in the world, but boy, when you see that thoughtfulness, holy cow, that just shines through, and that's the beauty of heaven right there. Something to think about. Beautiful concept. Beautiful concept. Listen to me. Anyhow, wonderful concept that I find very, very, very inspiring. All right, dear friends. So what we're going to do now we're going to do a little meditation. We're going to do a little prayer. Then we're going to do a little blessing. We're all finished up with that. We'll say hi to folks on social media. And again, wishing you folks all the very best. I will be away on vacation. We will have archived versions of these running next week. So with that, dear friends, let's all get a little breath. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends, let's hop on here and so you can get a little social media hello to some folks. And yeah, I hope you're surviving the heat. It is blazing hot out here. Even waking up this morning, it was 90 degrees waking up. Yeah, man, is hate beautiful? Yeah, it's a great point. It never really is, right? Sherry writes, "Good morning. Have a good weekend. Chuck, have a super vacation. Thank you." Natalie, thank you, and thank you for putting that little picture this morning. That was great. Um, Jean writes, "The world would be a more beautiful place if there were more kindness in it," and that's really true. It would definitely, that kindness just really carries the day. Paige, good morning to you, my friend, and I hope you're doing well. Marcia from out there in Colorado, great to have you joining us. And Marcia, I just get such a kick out of being in small groups with you. Always a joy, and yeah, it's just wonderful seeing you on Wednesday night. And thank you, Nellie. We certainly will. We certainly will. Certainly will enjoy it. It'll be good. We're going to upstate New York, which is a beautiful, beautiful area. And rumor has it, it's cooler. So there you go. Um, Lee writes, "Good morning. Great message to get my filter in place. Have a great vacation." And it is, you know what? And that's a great way to put it, Lee, right? Like it's about getting a filter in place. And that filter kind of screening through. And it's not sort of what I don't know, like this is way too esoteric. It's not necessarily a screen that's about keeping a lot out, though. That's good. But it's really a screen about what you let in. And if we let in this idea of beauty is thoughtfulness, like I know sometimes I have some people who just drive me crazy, but if I focus for a minute on trying to watch their thoughtfulness, I am never left lacking. I'm always left thinking that's one of the most beautiful people I know. Look how incredibly thoughtful they are. People just are that way. Uh, Mary writes, "Judgment is not ours. Judgment blocks my kindness and compassion." It's so true. Right? And that whole like, I get it, you don't. The line between black and white's between you and me. It's just deadly. And the hard part is I don't know that when we're in the middle of that, I don't know that we realize how ugly we are. When I'm around people like that, or when I'm being like that, bad news. And I'm sure when I'm being like that, people may agree with me, but the fact is, we don't really trust people like that. Um, all right. Linda writes, "Great message. Prayers for Ryan Teneri as he has surgery on his hand. Have a wonderful vacation." That is a very sweet one, and we definitely will keep that in mind. Marcia, thank you. Have a nice day. Well, thank you. And a couple other folks, Sherry jumping in there too, bringing about judgments, not ours. So, folks, may you have a beautiful weekend and a beautiful week ahead. God bless and take care, and we will see you in a full week hence. Take care. Bye bye.